What is going on, friends? Lee Sanders here of the RCWR show, covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond with your Wow Women of Wrestling September 28, 2019 recap and review. Man, loved this episode. This was our third episode for this great long extended season as WoW is back on Access TV for 24 whopping episodes, man. Alright, so as always, appreciate you guys that take the time out to check out the WoW recap and review. If you haven't done so already, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords The RCWR Show. Love interacting with our fan base, whether it's during the show or in between the shows. And also, make sure if you haven't done so already, you stick your head on up in our Discord server. Be a friend, say hello, interact, all that good stuff. Really like talking to those of you that appreciate the show, what I do for you guys every single week, in between the shows and all that. Nice little community that we're building over there. So if you haven't signed up for the Discord yet, it's free. You can access Discord on your phone, on your tablet, on your desktop, or your laptop. It's free, does not cost you anything. And you got a lot to gain as far as making new friends, all that good stuff. So if you need the link for the Discord server, it's in the episode description of this very episode. And you can also, if you happen to be following me on Twitter, all you gotta do is just look up my Twitter profile. You'll actually find the link there as well. Alright, so on this episode, David McLean setting everything up as we were introduced once again by the beautiful and the lovely WoW's champion, Tessa Blanchard. Did anybody start to have a little bit of deja vu, like there was a glitch in the Matrix or something of that nature? I know I did, because I'm going, wait a minute, why does this feel like we've just seen this already? Where exactly are we going with this one? But well, let's just see what's gonna happen here. Maybe there's some type of a new ripple effect here in the Matrix. Let's see. But Tessa Blanchard had got in the ring with McLean, and one of the reasons why she wanted to help open up the show was because she wanted to address some of the controversy that has come about since she's become the WoW Women's Champion, which is in the fashion in which she won the championship. I really want to stress that. And Tessa pretty much addresses all of those rumors, tries to squash all of them by saying, hey, I did it on my terms. I won it all on my own, and I did it while also pinning the shoulders to the mat of one Jungle Grrl. Yeah, so what about this impressive streak that Jungle Grrl had for the past 18 years? The reason why Jungle Grrl had that streak for so long, honestly, McLean, is because she never crossed paths with me. So as far as Tessa Blanchard was concerned, if Jungle Grrl would have faced her previously, like, it probably wouldn't even made it to 18 years as far as she's concerned. Well, this had prompted a very disgruntled, a very hot-headed Jungle Grrl to come out, get in the face of Tessa and say, hey, you know what, maybe because of that last time you and me had got into it, we got physical, maybe some of the bumps you took in that match gave you either concussion or you had suffered from amnesia, but I'm here to remind you, yeah, you didn't win that championship on your own. It actually took two women to defeat me. So let's really make sure we're bringing on that fact, because that is nothing but fact, the absolute fact, all right? Why don't you face me right now one-on-one for that championship? Tessa Blanchard not trying to have anything to do with that. At that point, we had saw Havoc and Hazard come out to the ring. Tessa Blanchard not wanting to have anything to do with these girls coming out. Now, this is where I kind of said, wait a minute, it seems to be a glitch in the Matrix, because it was really starting to feel as though, wait a minute, didn't we just see this like last week or the week before? What the heck is going on here? Tessa Blanchard's like, nah, I see exactly what's going on. We already went through this already, McLean. I'm not having anything to do with this. I'm not going to be involved in this. I'm not doing any matches with any of these women tonight. You figure it out, McLean. I'm out of here. So Tessa Blanchard rolls right on out. And we see at this point, Jungle Grrl is in the middle of the ring against Havoc and Hazard, and it's looking as though maybe this is going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match. We then see Jungle Grrl come on now. I'm sorry, not Jungle Grrl. Forgive me, guys. We see the Beast come out. And David McLean say, okay, you know what? I got a really good idea. We're not going to do any handicap match tonight. No, we're not going to do no 2-on-1. Nothing like that's going on. No handicap match. Look, obviously there is some friction between Jungle Girl and the Beast. You know, let's kind of mix it up a little bit. You girls got some people in common as far as enemies goes in Havoc and Hazard, especially with what Hazard had did last week, pretty much costing one of you girls an opportunity to be officially crowned the number one contender to face Tessa for the WoW Championship. So I know both of you girls are seething at the mouth. You're foaming big time because you want that opportunity to get some type of retribution. Well, how about tonight? Y'all settle everything here against Hazard and Havoc. Jungle Girl, Beast teaming up, taking on Hazard and Havoc in your main event match. That main event match, which was a really good main event match, by the way. I had enjoyed that. Once again, Hazard coming in with the steel chair, causing a disqualification for her and Havoc. Let's really home in here. Closing moments of this matchup, we had saw Havoc apply a Boston Crab on the Beast. So you got the Beast in the middle of the ring, and she doesn't look like she's about to tap out at all. She looks like she is trying to figure out some type of a way to power out of it. But I mean, you think about all of that great upper strength. You also got to look at that lower strength, because what's going on with her lower body complements the hell out of what's going on with that upper body. So, I mean, she's in that ring and she is defiant. She is not trying to tap out worth the damn. And she kind of looks as though, for the most part, I mean, you could make the argument, well, it doesn't really look like she's got everything under control because she's in a submission hold and anything can happen right here. I mean, she could give out at any freaking second. So Jungle Girl comes in, does a nice, pretty drop kick to the head of Havoc. That pretty much sends Havoc out of the ring. Jungle Girl and Beast, they actually get into it. Beast is like, I didn't need your help. Why the hell did you come in there? I really didn't need the assist whatsoever. Jungle Girl's like, look, you just go on ahead. You go on back out there. Let me clean house. It's all good. You go outside there. You rest up. I got this. Well, as all of this chattering is happening back and forth, Hazard decides to take advantage of what's the right word I want to say? The confusion a little bit, the disgruntledness that's in the air between Beast and Jungle. And she grabs steel chair, kind of similar to what she did a couple of weeks ago, goes in the ring. At this time, Beast has already made her way outside of the ring, and she's pretty much just looking on as a spectator. Hazard hits in the stomach area with that steel chair Jungle Girl. Referee sees this clear as day, pretty much throws the match out. Disqualification. Automatically, Hazard and Havoc, they are disqualified. Pretty much mysteriously, they disappeared a bit after that. And then we see the referee, he holds the hands up high of Jungle Girl and the Beast. And they're both looking at each other like, whatever. It is what it is. Not exactly the W that I wanted, but whatever. And Beast is just kind of looking on that Jungle Girl like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. Jungle Girl's kind of looking like, yeah, whatever, sister. It is what it is. Beast turns her back on Jungle Girl, and like, we're literally thinking, okay, all right, so we still got friction in the air, but we still don't know who the number one contender is going to be to face Tessa Blanchard for the championship. Okay, well, all right, nice to have this controversy, and not to mention, once again, Hazard with that steel chair in effect there, right? Okay, all right, so how is all this going to get kind of squashed going into next week? All right, this was a good cliffhanger. I'm fine with this. But no, instead, the real cliffhanger that we get, soon as Beast turns her back on Jungle Girl, that same steel chair that Hazard had used earlier, it's still in effect in the middle of the ring. Jungle Girl grabs that steel chair and just goes, whoo, body first, back, all that good stuff on Beast. And she takes that steel chair once Beast is sunny side up, takes it to her throat and is just ramming it in. You got all the officials that are just pouring out and they're trying to break these two up, and it pretty much ends in a pull apart. Jungle Girl screaming at Beast. Beast is screaming right back, and it pretty much just goes off that way. But last burning image that's left in your mind is, holy crap, Jungle Girl snapped. Well, like, what the hell? And I loved how we had all of that play out. And I like how David McLean and Steve Dickey tried to play it off. They basically were like, Jungle Girl not really appreciative of the fact that Beast, was rejecting the assists that Jungle Girl was trying to give her there when it looked as though the match was about to be thrown out, when it looked as though they weren't about to pick up the W. Yeah, it looks like Jungle Girl is still feeling a bit salty about that. And look, man, kind of like one of the things I was getting ready to tweet out there, but one thing I was toying around with when it came to this main event match, which was basically what happens when you take a beast and you let them play in the jungle, right? Kind of get the way I played with those words right there. So, I mean, these are two wild stand-up powerhouse characters that you have here in Beast and Jungle Girl, and it is all about reigning supreme. It is all about that dominance and everything, right? And so, I love this interesting dynamic that's going on because it almost feels very like you ever watched one of those National Geographic shows about lions or about bears or whatever. You know how territorial they are and how usually when there is a young and upcoming, you name it, a lion, a bear, a bull, when usually there is that young and upcoming animal that says, no, I'm the captain now. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. What I say goes. It's one of those type of deals where you got a young up and coming animal that is saying, nah, oldies, hey, your time was back then. This is a new generation now. I'm stronger than you. I'm more powerful than you. I'm more smarter than you. I'm more faster than you. Overall, I am just better than you. It's my time now. I'm taking this over. It almost kind of feels like with everything that Jungle Girl has done in her respective career and everything, you could almost kind of look at what she did to the Beast as almost a sign that she feels Beast poses a threat ultimately to her dominance back on top as the Wild Women's Champion. You could kind of make that argument that Jungle Girl kind of sees that there is a little bit of a passing in the guard, so to speak. And with all of the great real estate that's out there right now for whoever is trying to jockey to be that number one contender to face Tessa Blanchard for the championship, I mean, just really go back and look at it. You've got Beast, you've got Havoc, right? You got those two girls that's just really tearing it up. And then you've got Jungle Girl that's, you could almost kind of make the argument she's almost outside looking in because she's dealing with people that are a bit younger than her. Yes, she's got the experience, no doubt about that. But what about the speed and all of that other stuff, right? So you could kind of, if you're thinking about it from just a creative storyline standpoint, it almost kind of makes sense the way that Jungle Girl came after Beast. Now, one could make the argument, well, if she's from the jungle, most animals that are from the jungle, Lee, as you all know, they attack anybody, right? And yeah, you could definitely go with that. And you can also go with the notion, don't hunt what you can't kill. You could also throw that into the equation as well. But when it's all said and done, I like this interesting dynamic that's going on. So now when you go into next week's episode, Beast is going to want answers. She's going to want to know what the hell was going on there, right? Some maybe would look at what Jungle Girl did storyline wise and say, okay, if she was going to snap, why didn't she try to snap on everybody else? Well, remember, Havoc and frickin' Hazard, they rolled out like, I was looking for them too as soon as the match was thrown out and everything. I mean, they just magically disappeared, right? Catch Lucky Charms, Catch Lucky and it's Lucky Charms. And they were just gone. So all that pent up anger, that frustration and all that. So you can't help but wonder going into next week, well, what's going to happen? Is Jungle Girl going to come out and is she going to try to apologize for what happened this week? Is it maybe going to be a case where Jungle Girl's, the adrenaline and just everything that was going on, it had got the best of her. And, is it going to like go down like that? I don't think so. But it makes a very interesting dynamic that is going on. As one thing is established for certain, we still don't know who the number one contender is that ultimately faced Tessa for the championship. But that was a really good, strong cliffhanger. We had got 4 matches total tonight for this week's WoW. And by the way, for those of you that maybe had missed the initial WoW airing, it's coming on a couple of more times tonight. I actually had tweeted it, and one of the things that I had said was, if you're not able to watch the initial airing, which was at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that would be 5 p.m. Pacific time, the next repeat will be at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific time. We're talking about Saturday night going into Sunday. And then the last showing will be at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific. And the reason why you got a little bit of a gap, normally I know you guys are used to, well, wait a minute, New Japan is usually 1 hour and it's pretty much back, forth. New Japan is back, but they're doing a 2-hour block, and both of those respected hours are new. So it's still doing the WoW, New Japan, back to WoW, but it's not being spammed out as much as we've grown accustomed to. So as a result of New Japan doing 2 shows, again, your 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, and then your 2 a.m., 11 p.m. Pacific. I know some of you guys are used to basically being able to watch WoW like 4 times, but not tonight. Grand total, it's pretty much 3, including the initial live airing. 3 total for this weekend. Maybe it'll go back to normal next weekend. We'll have to wait and see with regards to that. But yeah, we had 4 matches total. Let's kick it up at the very, very top here. Our first matchup, we had Nikki Krampus, who had defeated Princess Aussie. Dude, so check this out. I know I was a little bit critical of Nikki Krampus last season when I was doing the WoW recaps with my boy Mish, and shout out to him. Hopefully we'll be able to sit down real soon and we'll be able to talk even more WoW, because I'm very curious, what does he make of everything that's been happening so far. Last I checked in with him, he was still a few episodes behind, but I was very critical of Krampus last season because I just wasn't understanding her whole gimmick. Like, I understood the background origin of her, but I remember being very critical of the attire. I remember saying, okay, she has this badass looking mask and all that, and then she takes the mask off and it's just this homebody, looking type of woman that's just, hi, how you doing? Can I do your Mary Kay makeup, or can I do your hair for you by chance? Basically, in a nutshell, I wasn't seeing anybody up under the mask that was truly menacing looking, that had a Norwegian, a Viking type of effect to it. I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't picking up anything once the head of that costume, whatever that is, I don't know if that's a bison on her head or what, but once she took that off, I was just totally lost. And the choice of costume, it wasn't really that flattering at all. Not that there was anything wrong with her shape. I liked her shape. Personally, I like my women that's got some meat on them. I sincerely do. Okay. But for me, just the costume and all that, I wasn't feeling it whatsoever. Now, her costume has got a serious rework going into this new season. I'm loving it. All right. So now she's coming out and she's almost kind of looking like a full wicked looking bison, so to speak. I mean, she's got this whole nice leather black attire that's going on from head to toe. And the way that the fur goes around her bodies and down to the side of her legs, it complements the hell out of the upper body portion, especially when she has that head on and everything. I thought all that was awesome. Now she takes the head off And what's going on under the face? What's going on under the face? She's got this demonic, dark mascara, stuff around the lips and all that. I don't really recall seeing all of that going on last season. I remember very briefly as I was watching tonight's episode, I was also looking at some old pictures from her from what we saw of her several months ago for the first season on Access. And it was like night and day. So I like that her and the creative team and whoever has been doing the costume designing and all that, I love that they've taken it a step further with her character's evolution and everything. So I got to give a mad props, mad shout out to that, because I know I was very critical last season. Good stuff right there. But yeah, she defeated Princess Aussie. I just got to continue to sing the praises of Princess Aussie. She has a very marketable look. You don't need to put her in a mask. You don't need to put any makeup on her. She has just a great looking face, a great body, tells a good story in the ring. I'm telling you, man, WoW is very lucky to have her, because if she wanted to take her talents elsewhere, I truly believe, like, if she wanted to do maybe Impact Wrestling full time, or she wanted to do WWE full time, I think she would be able to command it, and command it well. Where I'm a little bit lost is I don't know if she would really be able to have that creative freedom that she has right now currently. And wow, that's pretty much my only hiccup. But I'm homing in on Princess Aussie a little more, because after the match was over, by the way, Nikki Krampus, she had won via her finisher, Happy Holidays. Almost kind of reminded me of a modified, just doing a WWE reference, almost kind of reminded me of a modified Baron Corbin's End of Days. Just without that nice spinning flip and all that. It didn't have all that to it, but it was Happy Holidays. That was the name of the finisher. Great timing too, since we are pretty much going into the holidays. Yeah, so I think that's good. Lights went out. Lights come back on. Holiday and Siren, the voodoo doll lady, they actually had grabbed the corpse of Princess Aussie, if you want to call it that, and they basically took her away. And that pretty much was the end of that. So, what's happening right here with Princess Aussie is she being kidnapped by Siren and Holiday. Are they going to try to, take her over to the dark side in their quest to obtain tag team gold? Like, what's going on right here? Very interesting, kind of a cliffhanger dynamic right here, setting up next week and the weeks to come there. Our second matchup of the night, we had the Temptress, otherwise known as Katarina Waters, longtime fan of her work, Katie Birchhill. She has gone by so many different names over the years. I'm always happy to see her be involved in pro wrestling. I am, because she is a talent that I felt never really got her just due. Even when she did her thing in Impact Wrestling, I still felt as though the way she was handled in Impact, I felt the ball was dropped a bit with her. And she's always been one of those wrestlers that I felt, man, never really got her just due. Never really had that one great program, that one great rivalry that really solidified her placement in the women's industry and everything, right? And I'm happy that she continues to be working with WoW, and I expect more great things to be happening for her this season. She is out now with a whip, and as soon as I saw that whip, one of the first things I thought of was Devo's Whip It. Whoa, when something's going wrong, you must whip it. Pressure's coming on, you must whip it. Forgive me there for the 80s reference, but that's just how it is. That's just how my mind works sometimes. But we saw Temptress with her new partner in crimes, Dagger, but Dagger was at ringside just watching on. Temptress was in singles action against Rena Reyes, and I didn't talk about it on the last 2 episodes of the WoW recap. But I got to give a lot of props to Rena Reyes, because the one thing I didn't touch upon, and I meant to, but it slipped my mind somehow. I don't know how it did. I didn't get a chance to talk about her coming up out of the mask, because I know some of you guys, you may be wondering, if you've watched enough now, you may be wondering, well, Lee, what do you think, for the record, what do you think about her ditching the mask? I have no problem with her ditching the mask. I always felt that she was gorgeous underneath the mask. I felt that with some people, and I definitely, when I wrestled very, very briefly, I wrestled under a mask. There's some people, they just feel even more comfortable. They feel even more confident. They feel they can do XYZ under a mask. And I know for the brief period of time that I tried to wrestle, a little background stuff, backyard wrestling stuff here and there and everything, I wrestled under a mask. And I can't tell you, as far as the adrenaline I got, the confidence, the overall morale boost that I got being up under the mask. So I don't know if it was a case for her where she wasn't quite comfortable really being herself, letting the world see her real face on an everyday basis. I don't know if it was really, like that for her or whatnot. And you guys got to forgive me, because I'm actually going to give, myself a little bit of an scapegoat here, because if she has wrestled many times without the mask, I don't really know anything about it. I just kind of know a little bit off what I've seen of her on WoW and a little bit what I've seen with her wrestling for other promotions. And over the past couple of years, when I have seen her, she's always been in a mask. So if she hasn't been in a mask prior, then I don't know anything. You all would have to enlighten me and everybody else. But I love her, for the record. I love her without the mask. I think she is even more stunningly beautiful. And honestly, just from a demographic standpoint, as far as her being a Filipino and all that, whether it's full blown Filipino or part Filipino, I think it's badass that when you turn on a channel like Access TV and you're checking out women's wrestling on in the form of WoW Women of Wrestling, I think that as far as the demographics going, you look at the age demographics that all of these women that are wrestling, think of the age demographics that's being targeted. Look at the race demographics that's being targeted. You got every single race, every single age that's being represented. I like it as far as the variety go. But yeah, I think she's stunningly beautiful. Great match though between Temptress and Rena Reyes. There were two instances where I was a little bit concerned about the match, because, and it was on Rena Reyes where I was a little bit concerned. And this is where you got to give the WoW producers a lot of credit for how they were cropping, how they were editing the match and everything, because there was two spots where, that did not look good. And if you're not really paying attention as you're watching it in real time, you'll miss it. But there was one spot I remember where Reyes was doing some type of it was in the corner, and she was using the ropes as a guide, and she was trying to spin herself back to her feet and do some type of arm drag takedown. And it kind of looked as though maybe she fell on her ass in the process of doing that spot in the corner. And the way it was cropped, it cleaned it up very dramatically, I personally felt. And then there was another spot. Now, the other spot I can't really remember right now. I had it on the top of my tongue just now, but I lost it. But there was two spots where I was really, really concerned, and it was, but overall, their chemistry had flowed really, really well together. And it's matches like this that validates further what I've been saying about Katarina Waters, aka Katie Burchill, aka Katie Lee, aka the Temptress, whatever you want to call her. It's matches like what we saw tonight with her and Rena Reyes that reaffirms and validates what I've been talking about all these years about her, and why I continue to be a big fan of her work. Closing moments of this one, we did see Dagger try to come to the aid of Temptress as Reyes was looking for a top rope high risk maneuver. Reyes actually had kicked the hell out of Dagger as Dagger tried to grab a piece of her ankle and everything, but Reyes wasn't having it. And then she had did a spinning corkscrew It was kind of like a pin combo, basically. They had called it the Sky Twister. That's the name of her finisher. They called it the Sky Twister, and Reyes was able to pick up the W. So this is her first win since she has been without the mask. Yeah, so nice to get that going on early, right? Right, good stuff right there. Meanwhile, we get a nice video package for Mesmeriah. Remember, she is now part of the Psycho Sister stable and everything. We get her origins. So you're kind of like, okay, yeah, let's see what this is about. So her origins, apparently she grew up in the underground Los Angeles tunnels, right? Don't chuckle just yet. Just stay with me now. This is what we were given tonight. She grew up, born and raised, in the underground Los Angeles tunnels. When she finally became of age and was able to come to the surface, one of the things that she had saw that was just a beautiful light in her eyes was the beautiful violence that she saw happening all around her. And somewhere there in downtown Los Angeles, there was a battle that she had came across involving Razor and Razor's partner and everything. And Mesmeriah actually had tried to fight them. Now, she lost, but Razor was pretty impressed with her that she was like, man, who else better to have our back, especially as we're going for these wild tag titles, than a girl like Mesmeriah, right? So on next week's WoW, Mesmeriah is going to be making her in-ring debut. So that should be pretty good. But as I was reminded of all of this, like instantly, the first thing that clicked in my mind was Batman, the animated series from 1992. Now, some of you guys that know your animated series and all that, you may be going, Lee, do explain. You're kind of losing me here. I can't remember the episode number, but it was definitely during the first season because I used to watch religiously with my mom when the Batman animated series had came about, man. That Batman animated series, that was one series that was definitely dedicated towards adults, kind of for kids, but it was really towards the adults, I personally felt. But look up the episode. It was during the first season. I can't remember the episode number, but it was definitely during the first season. It was called The Underdwellers. And on this particular episode, there is a whole bunch of crimes that is happening all throughout Gotham by these people dressed in a type of clothing and a type of style where you're thinking, okay, so Gotham's residents are being robbed by leprechauns? What the hell is going on? And as Batman investigates and he gets deeper and deeper into his investigation, he finds that these people, they're not little people, right? These are children that actually live underground in the sewers, and they're taking all of their direction, everything that's coming to them and everything. It's happening from one person, this one adult. And Batman is trying to figure out a way how to stop this guy and everything, right? And separate this guy's mental hold on these children. So as I'm hearing Mesmeriah's origin, that was one of the first things I literally had thought about as I was hearing it, was that particular episode. Again, from season 1, 1992, Batman the Animated Series, The Underdwellers. Look that up. You guys will thank me later. Also, Samantha Smart and the disciplinarian, they found themselves to be in a situation where, hey, we're a little bit closer here as far as dominance. Let's see what we can do in the tag team tournament, right? So they called in a favor from one Albaline Maverick. And remember, pretty much going back to the first season, remember, Albaline Maverick, she was not able to wrestle Steffi Slays because she faked an injury. Remember that? But Maverick was at ringside watching on, providing color commentating and everything. So Samantha Smart had heard about that opening because Maverick had told McClane what was going on backstage. Smart had looked at that as an opportunity to have Steffi Slays be taken advantage of by the disciplinarian. But as we all had saw, that backfired as Steffi Slays picked up the W over the disciplinarian. Samantha Smart, very pissed off, went to town on Steffi Slay's post-match and everything. So this is where things kind of come a little bit full circle, because Samantha Smart, disciplinarian, they knew that Abilene Maverick was faking and everything, but they were trying to do her a solid. Now they kind of wanted that return paid back in full. So it would be kind of weird, right? You would think Samantha Smart and the disciplinarian would be the ones to team up and go into this tag team tournament. But no. It was actually the disciplinarian and Abilene Maverick with Samantha Smart at ringside going into the match against, they went into it with Chantilly Chark and Sassy Massey. These two actually made a really good tag team. I gotta admit, and I was very complimentary of Alicia Edwards, aka Sassy Massey. I was very complimentary. I think not on the last episode, but the episode before that. And Chantilly's got she has that whole industrial pop, house party type of, go electronic music thing that's going on with her. I like that. They actually made a really, really great combination there. They actually had defeated the disciplinarian and Abilene Maverick. Closing moments of this matchup here. We see Maverick looks as though she's trying to look for a hook DDT. I can't remember who she was trying to do the hook DDT on. You guys gotta forgive me. I want to say she tried to do the hook DDT on, I want to say she was trying to do the hook DDT on Chantilly. Or no, she was trying to do the hook DDT on Sassy Massey. But then Chantilly came from behind, managed to stop her, right? And then Chantilly bounces off the ropes and goes in between the ropes with a nice leg drop dive, basically, to take out the disciplinarian. Chantilly then runs back into the ring, and Chantilly it was weird, the sequence that they did, because Sassy is now grabbing a hold of Abilene Maverick and has her in this standing, almost kind of like a neck sleeper hold position. And Chantilly comes from behind off of the ropes with like a running diamond cutter. And both girls pretty much plant Abilene Maverick face first into the canvas, picked up the 1, 2, 3 that way. It was really sweet, but really got a home in on Sassy Massey and Chantilly. Great combination there. They make a really good tag team. As far as who could possibly get this, it still feels relatively early for me, man. I'm not really willing to say who I think it's going to be just yet. I got to see at least 1 or 2 more episodes before I double down on who I think is going to get it. Of course, on the backstage segment, Maverick and Disciplinarian, Samantha Smart, they're all backstage, and Maverick, Disciplinarian, they're having a shouting match going back and forth. Samantha Smart, she's trying to diffuse the situation and tell them, look, everything is okay. You guys just got to keep a better temperament. And trust me, everything that happened tonight, it will be expedited accordingly. But, we need to just go into our separate corners. Samantha Smart was trying to be somewhat the peacemaker in all of this, but a lot of friction there between Maverick and the disciplinarian. Maverick blaming the disciplinarian for them not able to advance further into the Wild Tag tournament. Disciplinarian, shouting right back, and Maverick bringing up the fact, man, your cool demeanor, you don't have one. You're lacking one. And that's one of the main reasons why we had lost this. And Disciplinarian, pretty pissed off, didn't like what she was hearing. Sometimes the truth hurts, but a lot of friction going on right there. So, what's going to happen right there is Maverick now going to kind of buddy chum herself to Samantha Smart and say, hey, look, we don't need somebody like the disciplinarian. Look at what's been happening since, you've associated yourself with her. Come on, I think you do better getting with me, blah, 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 blah. So really interesting seeing the dissension that was going on there. What's to come? in the weeks to come? We shall find out. But overall, a really solid episode of WoW for this week. Thumbs up from me. Check it out. Great stuff. It was good. It was good. I want to know what you guys had thought about WoW for this week. So sound off. Let me know. And be sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. I will definitely be back with you guys next weekend for episode 4 of WoW. That episode will be coming at you guys on Saturday night of October the 5th, 2019. Pretty ecstatic for that. It's going to be a very busy week that we're going to be in the middle of too, because of all the wrestling stuff that's going on. If you haven't done so already, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes of the RCWR show you may have missed on demand and on the downloads on all of your favorite listening platforms. Just use the keywords, the RCWR show. Patreon members, and if you're not a Patreon member, do consider being a Patreon member, because for just $5 a month, you can get access to bonus audio video content you won't be able to find anywhere else. RCWR show, patreon.com/RCWR show. Patreon members, we got a new Wrestling with the Topics that's going to be dropping Sunday morning. It's a beautiful morning on a Sunday afternoon, grooving. Couldn't get away too soon. I know I just mixed 2 songs in there, but that's just how it is. But yeah, for you non-Patreon members, your next edition of the RCWR show will be dropping Monday night of September 30th, 2019. Minutes removed from a new WWE Raw. Catch it on YouTube, also on Spreaker. Catch it also live in Discord. And that is going to do it. Until next go round, I am wishing all of y'all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you all next go round. Adios.
Thanks for listening. An Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive.